So, welcome all of you to the newspaper analysis at Plutus IAS Academy, wherein we see important ideas which comes in Hindu and the Indian Express. And I hope you all are enjoying your UPSC preparation. You all are happy and energetic. And as I have mentioned, you have to enjoy this process of learning. This is going to be a process of self-realization where you are going to explore new dimensions of your personality, and definitely you can work on it, right? अगर आप इस तरीके से प्रिपरेशन करेंगे then definitely you are going to enjoy this process, and also आपके लिए कभी ये burden नहीं होगा. ऐसे बहुत सारे aspirants बोलते हैं that they face a lot of hard time when they are preparing because इतने सारे subjects पढ़ने पड़ते हैं. They can be anything under the sun which can be asked in the exam. But the thing is, if you're going to enjoy this process, if you will build a curiosity mindset to learn about different topics in the newspaper, in your different subjects which are there, then definitely you're not going to feel this process as a burden. Rather, you're going to enjoy, because that is going to improve your personality, and definitely it's a life-changing process. All right, so with that, let's start with the first article, which is there in the Hindu newspaper, and which is highlighting a changing thing which is happening in the India and Nepal relations. At the present times, we are seeing there are two things happening in Nepal. A kind of backlash we are seeing towards India. बेसिकली नेपाल में हम देख रहे हैं कि चाइना का जो इन्फ्लुएंस है वो थोड़ा सा बढ़ता जा रहा है. एट द सेम टाइम वी आर आल्सो सीइंग प्रोटेस्ट इन नेपाल रिगार्डिंग द रिवाइवल ऑफ मोनार्की. हमें पता है कि 2015 से पहले नेपाल वाज अ मोनार्की, राइट? वहाँ पे एक पार्लियामेंट नहीं होता, देयर वाज नो डेमोक्रेसी, इट वाज अ हिंदू मोनार्की. नेपाल वाज द ओनली कंट्री who has the Hinduism as the state religion, right? But 2015 के बाद it became as a secular democratic republic, and the parliament was set up. But COVID के समय पर हम देखते हैं certain things happened which led to the present protest. COVID के बाद से, after COVID, we have seen there is an economic decline in Nepal, and which is leading to the present day protest, a kind of unrest regarding the government, right? So इस आर्टिकल में हम देखेंगे what should be India's approach to tackle the increasing Chinese influence in Nepal, and what things we can do, right? So with that, let's move forward and see the important highlights which were there in this article. So first of all, it is important to understand how the Nepali polity has evolved, right, over the years. So first of all, you need to understand as I mentioned, Nepal was not a democratic country. There was this monarchy which was there before 2015, right? And with the efforts of the different groups in India, such as in Nepal, such as Maoists, insurgency was happening. There was this Nepali Congress, which is also there, right? They were, asking to establish Nepal as a democratic republic, or जो कि 2015 में बनाया गया, right? And we have mentioned that after COVID-19, we have seen there is an unrest in Nepal. There is a dissatisfaction towards the government to revive the Hindu monarchy. वहाँ के लोग ये चाहते हैं कि दोबारा से नेपाल को एक हिंदू स्टेट बना दिया जाए, and obviously not the entire section, but there is a section in the Nepali polity. Now, I think it's important to understand why Nepal is important for India, right? आपको पता होगा that Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the Prime Minister of India, has said that in international relation we can definitely choose our enemies, but we cannot choose our neighbors. Just one second. Our neighbors are going, right? Just one second. I think there is some technical glitch. Just one second. All right, we are back. So we were talking about the importance of Nepal for India, right? What is the importance of Nepal for India as a country? As I mentioned, we cannot choose our neighbors. Our neighbors are going to be permanent. So if we see the importance of Nepal, हमें पता है कि Nepal and India share historical, cultural ties, right? Both the countries have similar kind of culture, right? We are a part of the Indian subcontinent, which shares certain characteristic of Indic civilization, right? The relations were very long, and कहीं ना कहीं बहुत ही सालों से हमारे रिलेशन चलते हुए आ रहे हैं, and they have evolved over the years, right? अगर हम देखें, so Nepal is important for India in many terms, right? Basically, there is economic dimension, right, which happens between Nepal and India. नेपाल का जो 2/3 ट्रेड है वो इंडिया से ही होता है, राइट? टू थर्ड मर्चेंडाइज ट्रेड है वो इंडिया से होता है. एट द सेम टाइम देयर इज पीपल टू पीपल कनेक्ट. बहुत सारे लोग इंडिया और नेपाल की टेरिटरी में दे ऑल्सो मैरी. मेनी ऑफ द पीपल फ्रॉम नेपाल कम इन इंडिया to do business or do to gain employment. At the same time, India से भी लोग काफी नेपाल में रहने जाते हैं, and they for the search of employment, right? There are cultural ties which are also there. There are certain pilgrimages which are there in Nepal and also in India, right? Uh, for example, places where Buddhist religion is significant, right? The Nepali people come in India, and also people from India go to Nepal in search of these locations. So in this way, Nepal is an important country. But in the present times, we are seeing there is an increase of Chinese influence, which is being witnessed in the Nepal, in the Nepal, and which is reflecting in many of the things, right? हमने देखा कि अभी present times में new kind of challenges are emerging between India and Nepal. For example, Nepal is claiming the territory of India, right? कहीं ना कहीं इंडिया और नेपाल का border dispute भी हमें देखने को मिलता था near the काला पानी in the state of Uttarakhand, right? इस region को नेपाल कहते हैं कि ये हमारा region है, and it has been taken over by India. और अभी recently जो नेपाल में नए currency notes issue किए गए, उसमें ये बोला गया कि they are going to use that map, which is going to include काला पानी in their region. This is a positive. This is a negative development, because India consider Nepal as its sphere of influence, right? ट्रेडिशनली नेपाल जो है वो इंडिया के स्पेयर ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस का पार्ट रहा है. इंडिया का कहीं ना कहीं एक तरीके से वहाँ पे डोमिनेंस रहा है इन टर्म्स ऑफ नेपाल फॉर्मुलेटिंग इट्स पॉलिसीज. बट अगर नेपाल इस तरीके की एक्टिविटीज में एंगेज करता है, इट रियली हर्ट्स इंडियाज इंटरेस्ट, राइट? रिसेंटली हमने एक और अनकन्वेंशनल चीज को देखा, जैसे नेपाल में जब न्यू इलेक्टेड गवर्नमेंट अभी आई है, सो द फॉरेन मिनिस्टर, there was this convention that the foreign minister's first visit is going to be in India, but इस बार ऐसा नहीं हुआ. It happened in China, right? So this growing linkage between Nepal and China is really impacting India's interest in negative manner. हमने ये भी देखा कि नेपाल और चाइना इज एंगेज इन बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव. आपको पता होगा बेल्ट एंड रोड इनिशिएटिव इज द you know the policy of China to revive the traditional Silk Route, right? जिसमें China says that we want to connect the region of Asia and the Europe in order to build trade connectivity, right? कहीं ना कहीं इंडिया उसको अपोज करते हैं. उसका रीजन ये है because it encroaches into certain parts of India, जैसे कि पीओके से इसके उसके कुछ you know कुछ ports वगैरह, and there are certain infrastructure which is going to happen, but that is not India's policy, right? So India opposes this thing. At the same time, BRI में इंडिया का परसेप्शन है कि चाइना wants to dominate Asia by using things like BRI, right? कहीं ना कहीं China is using its debt diplomacy policy, right, giving huge amount of debt to the country, and then when they're unable to repay it, then China acquires some of its territory. जैसे कि हमने देखा कि श्रीलंका में जो हम्बनटोटा पोर्ट था उसको भी चाइना ने एक्वायर कर लिया था, and that was a concerning thing for India's national security, right? So these are certain developments which are hindering India's influence in South Asia and also in Nepal. Abhi recently there was this article by Happymon Jacob in Hindu जिसमें उन्होंने बताया कि इन द प्रेजेंट मोमेंट इंडिया का जो ग्लोबल स्टेटस है वो लास्ट 2 सेंचुरीज में सबसे ज्यादा देखने को मिला है, बट एट द सेम टाइम व्हेन इट कम व्हेन वी कंपेयर इट टू चाइनाज ग्रोइंग पावर, इट हैज डिक्लाइन एट द हाईएस्ट बेसिकली। मतलब इतना ज़्यादा जो रिलेटिव पावर गैप है इंडिया और चाइना में, स्पेशली इन द रीजन ऑफ एशिया, कहीं ना कहीं सबसे ज़्यादा देखने को मिलता है। और ये विजिबल है हमारे बहुत सारे नेबर्स के साथ रिलेशंस में। हम देखते हैं कि वी the relation with the neighbors are kind of deteriorating in the present time, and similar is the case in Nepal. डेफिनेटली चाइना हैज सर्टेन फाइनेंशियल लेवरेज, चाइना के पास कुछ फाइनेंशियल बेनिफिट्स हैं जिसको वो यूज करके इट इन्फ्लुएंस्ड आर ट्रेडिशनल स्फीयर ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस, फॉर एग्जांपल नेपाल, and that is causing a negative impact on the India's interest, right? So I hope आपको ये चीज समझ में आया होगा. These were the important highlights in this article. अब राइटर ये भी पॉइंट आउट करते हैं कि seeing the scenario, what should be India's approach to solve this problem. कहीं ना कहीं काफी स्कॉलर्स ये भी हाईलाइट करते हैं कि शुड इंडिया सपोर्ट द नेपाल रिवर्टिंग बैक टू इट्स मोनार्की, बिकॉज ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ मोनार्की द रिलेशंस वर इन फेवरेबल कंडीशन फॉर इंडिया, राइट? जब मोनार्की थी वहां पे, व्हेन नेपाल वाज अ हिंदू स्टेट, देन द रिलेशंस वर पॉजिटिव। कहीं ना कहीं उस समय पर माओइस्ट इंसर्जेंसी भी चल रहा था, एंड राइटर ने भी पॉइंट आउट किया कि नेपाल से कई बार पाकिस्तान सपोर्टेड टेररिस्ट इंडिया में एंटर करने का ट्राई करते थे, राइट? And both the Nepali government and Indian government were cooperating in these areas, right? So kahin na kahin हमारे relations cordial थे, but after the parliament, the relations start deteriorating. So इस वजह से there is talk, but जो writer है इस चीज को नकारते हैं, and he says that rather than doing this, because it is going to create a negative perception of India in certain sections of Nepalese population, because कुछ population which won't the country as a democratic country. So writer is pointing we should focus on developmental projects, right? That is going to build soft power, that is going to strengthen a soft power in Nepal. आपको पता होगा soft power is an important concept in international relations, जिसमें basically it's the ability of a country to attract others by its democratic values, the actions which it conducts. For example, आपको पता होगा during the COVID crisis, India ने अपने vaccine मैत्री program के through we have provided free vaccines to almost 100 countries. इंडिया ने ऐसा क्यों किया, राइट? दो हमारे पास भी इतना plenty में नहीं था वैक्सीन्स का सप्लाई, बट स्टिल वी डिड दैट. द रीजन वाज वी वांटेड टू गार्नर अ पॉजिटिव इमेज. अगर फ्यूचर टाइम्स में इंटरनेशनल एरा में कोई भी इंडिया के खिलाफ कोई चीज होता है, इंडिया वांट्स टू हैव अ परमानेंट सीट इन द यूएनएससी, दोस कंट्रीज बिकॉज ऑफ द इंडिया सॉफ्ट पावर आर गोइंग टू सपोर्ट इंडिया, राइट? दैट्स व्हाई सॉफ्ट पावर इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट in the international arena, and that's why we have to strengthen our soft power in Nepal. We have to use our cultural ties. हमें पता है कि इंडिया की cultural ties historically नेपाल के बहुत strong है, and we can use that people to people connect, right? That people to people connect by giving a free pathway to the people of Nepal, which usually happens, and by providing them employment, or investing in the humanitarian activities such as strengthening their food security programs, or providing them agriculture technologies, then definitely can garner a positive image for India, and that can definitely strengthens the relation between India and Nepal, and we can also counter the Chinese narrative, right? As I mentioned, it is kind of a neo-colonialism which is happening at the present moment, right? हमें दिखाना पड़ेगा कि the thing which China is doing, or the model which China is selling, is not feasible in long run, and we can give examples of many countries, though it might look attractive in short run, because हर country को investment का need होता है, every country wants investment for their developmental purpose, but still we have seen from examples of Sri Lanka or Somalia, in Africa, and many African countries who are a victim of neo-colonialism of China. right? This is the thing. So I hope आपको ये आर्टिकल समझ में आया होगा. What are the challenges India is facing when it comes to dealing with Nepal? How Chinese influence is impacting India's interest, and also the traditional sphere of influence of India. What things can be done by India for building the positive relations with Nepal. And this topics becomes relevant for your GS paper 2 syllabus in the international relations. And with that, let's move forward to the next topic, which is also from the international relation arena. And a positive development has happened recently in India's relations with Iran. Basically आपको पता होगा, from very long time India wanted to build Chabahar port, which you can see in this map, which is on the southern part of the Iran, जो कि सिस्तान बलूचिस्तान प्रोविंस में पाया जाता है ईरान में. And India का ये vision था, by building this port, we want to strengthen our connectivity to the Europe and in Russia and also the Central Asian region, right? आपको पता होगा, because India is facing, a kind of negative relations with Pakistan. हमारे जो पाकिस्तान का relation है, it has been on hold. कहीं ना कहीं वो रोक दिए गए हैं after the abrogation of Article 370. And because of that, there is a problem of connectivity which India is facing while dealing with the Central Asian republics. Right? Central Asia is this region which you can see here. The countries such as Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, or Kyrgyzstan. These are Central Asian region, right? Which is an important part of India's foreign policy. But we are facing a connectivity issue. If we are able to develop this port, the Chabahar port, then definitely we can have a different pathway to enter the Central Asian republics. Also, it can also contribute in the larger development, which was the INSTC corridor, the India now North-South transshipment corridor, जिसके बारे में बात चल रहा था, that can really strengthen the connectivity of the Europe and the South Asia. उसके बारे में हम देखने वाले हैं. हम ये भी देखेंगे how it has evolved over the years, what were the challenges which India faced while developing the Chabahar port, and what are the positive developments which are happening at the present moment, right? So पहले इसको समझते हैं that why Chabahar port is important. As I mentioned that हमारे पाकिस्तान के रिलेशन उतने अच्छे नहीं चल रहे हैं, जिसकी वजह से कनेक्टिविटी का इशू था, and we wanted to have an access to the Central Asian republics. Why do we wanted that? Because हमें पता है कि Central Asian republics में there are certain things which are happening which impacts the geopolitics of that region. कहीं ना कहीं चाइना का इन्फ्लुएंस बढ़ जाना. मैंने आपको बताया कि चाइना का इम्पैक्ट कहीं ना कहीं ऑलमोस्ट हर जगह है in the world, because China is emerging as a global power, at the same time a belligerent global power, जो कि which is very assertive, and the negative acts are visible, and also kind of neocolonialism which is visible in Chinese acts. And that's why China का बढ़ता हुआ influence, we want to tackle that thing. At the same time, ये भी बोला जाता है कि जो Central Asian region, they are rich in resources. There are certain rare earth elements which are in abundance in the Central Asian Republic. हम उसका भी access चाहते हैं. We want to do trade with it so that we can use that resources for our industrial developments. Right? This is also a thing. At the same time, to boost the trade. हमने कल की वीडियो में बात किया है why trade is important for increasing the prosperity of a region, right? That's why Central Asia is an important region. But we have seen a very important thing which happened because of the US Iran nuclear trade deal, because of the stopping of the US Iran nuclear trade deal. जैसे के बारे में समझते हैं, why there was this slow progress in the development of Chabahar port. So इसको समझने के लिए हमें समझना पड़ेगा the triangle between India, US and Iran, right? So इसको basically हमें पता है कि Iran was a country who is a dominant power in Middle East, right? And especially after the 2000, there was this view by the Western countries that Iran want to develop a nuclear bomb, right? Iran was working on its nuclear program, और जिसकी वजह से there was this direct threat on the state of Israel, because हमें अभी present time में भी जो Israel Palestine का issue चल रहा है, उसमें ये देखने को मिलता है that Iran is an adversary to Israel. It wanted to support the Palestinian cause, and it's it really want to eradicate the Israel state. So the thing is, Iran was working on the nuclear program, and it wanted to develop the न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब. सो कहीं ना कहीं वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज के द्वारा द नेटो कंट्रीज एंड ईरान डिड अ डील विच वाज ईरान न्यूक्लियर डील, जिसमें इन सभी जो P5 कंट्रीज हैं, the permanent member of United Nations Security Council, they came together with Iran and said that please stop your nuclear program and आपका अब जो भी आपको न्यूक्लियर टेक्नोलॉजी चाहिए वो आप हम कंट्री से ले सकते हैं. बट ईरान, कहीं ना कहीं ये रिपोर्ट्स में पाया गया दैट ईरान वाज डेवलपिंग इट्स न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब, ईरान वाज एनरिचिंग यूरेनियम टू द 80 और 90%, राइट. आपको पता होगा कि यूरेनियम को ऑलमोस्ट 90% तक हमें एनरिच करना पड़ता है टू क्रिएट अ न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब, राइट. अगर हम उसे कम करते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल 50-60% इज रिक्वायर्ड टू प्रोड्यूस इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, राइट. बट ईरान वाज वर्किंग ऑन न्यूक्लियर प्रोग्राम, जिसकी वजह से ड्यूरिंग द टर्म एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन 2018 जो ईरान न्यूक्लियर डील थी उसको स्टॉप कर दिया गया. एंड यूएसए ने फिर ईरान के ऊपर सैंक्शंस लगा दी, यूएसए ने ईरान के ऊपर सैंक्शंस लगाए एंड इट स्टॉप्ड अदर कंट्रीज, अदर फ्रेंडली कंट्रीज टू डू ट्रेड विद ईरान. उन्होंने बोला अगर आप ईरान का ट्रेड करोगे देन इट इज गोइंग टू हर्ट योर इंटरेस्ट, राइट. और सी इंडिया वाज अंडर दिस प्रेशर बिकॉज ऑफ दिस थिंग. सो दिस वाज अ थिंग व्हिच स्टॉप्ड इंडिया टू डू ट्रेड विद ईरान, राइट. इसकी वजह से कहीं ना कहीं जो चाबहार पोर्ट का भी डेवलपमेंट था वो थोड़ा स्लो हो गया, बिकॉज वहां पे इन्वेस्टमेंट करना इतना इजी नहीं रहा, राइट, बिकॉज ऑफ द सैंक्शंस पुट बाय द यूएसए. बट जो प्रेजेंट टाइम्स में हम डेवलपमेंट देख रहे हैं, जो रिसेंट एग्रीमेंट हुआ है बिटवीन द इरानियन गवर्नमेंट एंड द इंडियन फॉरेन मिनिस्ट्री दैट वी आर गोइंग टू कंटिन्यू द प्रोग्रेस एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ दिस चाबहार पोर्ट. That is a significant development, right? And इस आर्टिकल में ये भी पॉइंट आउट किया कि वी शुड लुक एट दी लार्जर पिक्चर ऑफ INSTC. हमें पता है कि कनेक्टिविटी इज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट फॉर इंक्रीजिंग द ट्रेड एंड हेंस द prosperity of the region, right? If we are able to connect, as you can see in this map, the states of India or the cities in India to this INSTC corridor, the regions of Central Asia and the in Russia, basically it is going to increase the trade very significantly. At the same time, it is going to reduce the cost, because अभी जो trade होता है it happens through sea. सी से ट्रेड में उसमें टाइम ज़्यादा लगता है एंड ऑल्सो द कॉस्ट इज ऑल्सो हाई. कहीं ना कहीं if we are able to build this INSTC, then definitely we can reduce this cost, and that is going to play an important role in the development of this region, right? And also जो भी कंट्री इसका पार्ट बनेंगे they are going to benefit from this, because आपको पता होगा जिस जगह से ट्रेड होता है उन जगहों पे प्रॉस्पेरिटी आती है. दैट वाज विजिबल ड्यूरिंग दी सिल्क रूट, द ट्रेडिशनल सिल्क रूट. आपको पता होगा जो भी किंगडम्स उस सिल्क रूट में आते थे, फॉर एग्जांपल द कुशान किंगडम, यू मस्ट हैव स्टडीड इन द एंशिएंट इंडिया, उसके थ्रू भी सिल्क रूट था, एंड they were reaping the benefits of the trade which happened in the Silk Road, right? So this is the thing. I hope आपको ये आर्टिकल समझ में आया होगा. Why Chabahar Port is significant for India's economy, and how it has evolved over the years. What is the US-Iran nuclear deal access in that, and how the present developments which are happening is positive for our country, right? So with that, let's move forward to the next news, right? All right. So this article, just one second. Okay, so this article which you can see on the screen appeared in Indian Express, and it is highlighting the faults which are there in our education system. आपको पता है कि अभी recently class 12 का result आया है, and many of the students have scored really well in the exams. But writer is highlighting, who very frequently writes in Indian Express related to the education system, is highlighting the fault lines in the education system of India, how it just focus on preparing a class of students who are very mechanistic and do not focus on the qualitative aspects of learning, right? So इस चीज को समझते हैं and see what were the important highlights. This article can be relevant for your ethics paper, right? उसमें basically emotional intelligence or qualitative education or value education are an important part. At the same time, this thing can be used in your essay paper. and also the social justice section, जिसमें education is an important part, right? So let's move forward and see the important thing which were highlighted, right? So basically writer ये point out कर रहे हैं इस article में that जो हमारा education system अभी present time में, it is building a class of restless warriors, right, who are just focusing on competition. आपको पता है ये जो इतना कॉम्पिटिटिव सिस्टम बना दिया जिसमें वी जस्ट फोकस ऑन मार्क्स, और अगर हमारे अच्छे मार्क्स आ जाएंगे वी कैन गेट अ जॉब और इन और अ प्लेसमेंट इन अ गुड कॉलेज, राइट? इस चीज पे ज्यादा फोकस रहता है rather than that कि education का पर्पस ये होना चाहिए that it should instills values, it should focus on overall development of personality, right, of an individual, right? ये चीज वो बोल रहे हैं it should be a process of self realization. राइटर ये बात करते हैं कि many of the toppers who have scored well, उनसे अगर पूछा जाए कि वो अपनी लाइफ में करना क्या चाहते हैं, so they have this mechanistic answer that they want to become doctor or engineer or IAS officer, right? But there are different kind of professions which are there in our country जो कि हमारा एजुकेशन सिस्टम नहीं बना रहा, and that can only happen through self realization. When a person is able to realize his or her strength and weaknesses, and then that person should pursue his career. तभी हम देखते हैं the present problems which are emerging, such as we have seen the suicides which happen in Kota, right? बहुत सारे बच्चे because they are not able to handle the pressure of the competitive exams which happen, or else they don't have a natural instinct of preparing for the exam, right? और जब वो वहाँ चले जाते हैं because of the peer pressure, the familial pressure, and they are not able to handle the pressure, then they commit suicide, right? एंड ऑल्सो ये भी समझना जरूरी है कि सुसाइड तो कुछ ऐसी चीजें जो जो पॉइंट आउट रहता है, बट देर आर मेजॉरिटी ऑफ मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हु आर फेसिंग अ मेंटल प्रॉब्लम, राइट? कहीं ना कहीं वो चीजें हाईलाइट नहीं होती, राइट? व्हाट अबाउट द एंजाइटी एंड डिप्रेशन व्हिच हैपन to the student, right? ये चीज तो पॉइंट आउट किया नहीं जाता है, एंड इट रियली किल्स द क्रिएटिव एबिलिटीज ऑफ अ स्टूडेंट, राइट? हमें पता है कि if we really want to increase the research and development thing in our country, जो स्टूडेंट्स के अंदर क्रिएटिव एबिलिटीज है वो हमें बढ़ाना पड़ेगा, एंड दैट कैन ओनली हैपन व्हेन आवर एजुकेशन सिस्टम इज फोकस ऑन दैट, राइट? So this is the thing which has been highlighted in this article. At the same time, writer here point out करते हैं that education should be a qualitative experience, not a thing which should only focusing on quantitative things such as marks and the race which is there in our education system, right? ये होना चाहिए लोगों की values को develop करने में, to explore the different dimensions of a person's personality, and it should be a process of self-realization, right? Then only we can strengthen the creativity framework in our country. Then only we can focus on the research and development. But हमारी country में हमें देखने को मिलता है कि बहुत छोटे ही classes से, in sixth or fifth standard बच्चों को एक तरीके की रेस में डाल दिया जाता है. We can learn from examples from different countries such as Israel. इसराइल में सिक्स या सेवन स्टैंडर्ड तक एग्जाम्स नहीं होते, वहां पे सिर्फ फोकस किया जाता है दैट स्टूडेंट्स शुड पार्टिसिपेट इन प्रैक्टिकल लर्निंग. उनको लर्निंग पे ज्यादा फोकस करना चाहिए rather than just giving them pressure, right? उनको प्रेशराइज नहीं करना चाहिए that you have to score marks, but they should given a free leverage so that they can think, they can enjoy the process of learning, right? So this is an important thing which has been highlighted in this article, and we have also mentioned all the homogenization of aspiration which happened because of this competitive culture. There are certain fields which has been highlighted, and people just want to pursue those things. For example, engineer, doctors. But आपको पता होगा with the growing population of India, हमें differentiation of labor करना भी बहुत जरूरी है. There should be differentiation in labor. मतलब अगर अलग अलग टाइप के प्रोफेशंस को लोग नहीं चूज करेंगे, सो वी विल नॉट सस्टेन द एम्प्लॉयमेंट इन आवर इकोनॉमी, राइट? अगर ऐसा होता है कि कुछ लोग अगर आर्ट में अच्छे हैं या म्यूजिक में अच्छे हैं और दे आर गुड इन एक्टिंग, दे शुड परस्यू दैट करियर, राइट? देन ओनली डिफरेंशिएशन कैन हैपन, right? And the society can sustain. At the same time, that is also going to lead to a more happier society, right? हमें पता होगा We have seen this data that many of the people who are working in corporate world, they are not happy with their jobs, right? Because that job is really mechanistic, and the kind of robotic work which happens. हमने ये चीज देखा है, uh, that when we are working the job which we really love, and which is aligned as per our natural attribute, we really love that job, and also we can give our 100% in that job, right? इसीलिए homogenization of aspiration is a negative thing for our for our country. And you can also definitely use these concepts in your essay or ethics paper. That is going to enrich your answers, right? uh, there's another important highlight which was there in this article. So writer has pointed out that this system of competition is generating a bunch of conformists, basically people who are who are not able to think properly. They are just focusing on certain limited things, right? हमें पता है that whatever transformation which has happened in the human societies, they have happened only because of the people who were able to think in a different manner, who were able to think out of the box, right? आप देख सकते हैं, Gandhi G is the best example of it. Gandhi Ji was a person who did not conform to the ideals of the colonial rule, and it brought independence for the country, right? That's why uh, the conformist attitude does not lead to change, a positive change in the society, right? So इसीलिए we have to build a kind of creative thinking in the students, so that they can think in real terms, right? So this is the thing. I hope आपको ये चीज समझ में आया होगा. At the same time, एक और बहुत important चीज इस आर्टिकल में हाईलाइट किया गया है, that is what happens to the people who are not able to score good marks. What is the other side of the picture, right? आपको पता है कि people who fail in this exam, though they can be good in other fields, so as I mentioned, in art or music, right? But because they are not able to score good marks, they are considered failure in the society, and it impacts their mental state. कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है कि समाज में कुछ ऐसे लोग हो सकते हैं जिनका जो नेचुरल एट्रीब्यूट है वो जरूरी नहीं कि सिर्फ सिर्फ पढ़ना हो. दे कैन बी गुड इन डिफरेंट थिंग्स, राइट? बट ये जो एजुकेशन सिस्टम है कहीं ना कहीं होमोजेनाइज कर देता है एस्पिरेशन को. एट द सेम टाइम सक्सेस के जो इंडिकेटर्स हैं, राइट, इसकी वजह से प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट होता है, राइट? एंड दैट्स व्हाई राइटर इज पॉइंटिंग आउट दैट वी हैव टू think about what should be the real purpose of education system, right? We should focus on the self realization, as we have already mentioned, that education should focus on creating a mechanism that can build or facilitate the self realization among the citizens, among the students, right? और जो ये वन डायमेंशनल ब्यूरोक्रेटाइज डीह्यूमनाइज पैटर्न ऑफ स्कूलिंग है, इसको चेंज करने की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है if we really want to build a country where they're going to be free living individuals. There will be creative thinking, and also the non-conformist attitude which is important for a society positive evolution, right? I hope आपको ये आर्टिकल समझ में आया होगा, and with that let's move forward to the next article, right? So this article, which you can see on the screen, is from the Science and Technology section, and it is talking about a new technology which is in news, which is xenotransplantation, right? Agar, you must have heard about the transplantation in which an organ is being transplanted in a person's body to cure the defects of the previous organ, right? But xenotransplantation is a different thing. Xeno is basically has emerged from the Latin word which means foreign, right? In xenotransplantation, a foreign organ from the animal body, right? A foreign organ from animal body is transplanted in humans, and there are certain things which happen in this process. For example, genetic modification is a technology which we have heard, we have studied in previous some videos about the genetic modification. How gene editing is a technology which is used to cure certain diseases. आपको पता होगा कि ह्यूमन बॉडी की body is built of cells, और cells में there is nucleus which is there, और nucleus में हमें DNA मिलता है. DNA के अंदर there is gene, जिसको which is a kind of inheritance unit of an individual. जो हमारे parents हमें qualities और characteristics मिलते हैं, वो basically हमारे genes में पाए जाते हैं, और उन genes को change करके we can cure the diseases which we inherit from our parents, right? And that's why genetic modification is important. So इसमें क्या किया जाता है, बेसिकली जीन्स को मॉडिफाई करके विद यूजिंग द क्रिस्पर Cas9 टेक्नोलॉजी ऑर्गन्स को ट्रांसप्लांट करते हैं, सो दैट दे कैन बिकम कंपैटिबल विद द ह्यूमन बीइंग्स बॉडी. बिकॉज आपको पता होगा, अगर कोई फॉरेन सेल हमारी बॉडी में, फॉरेन ऑर्गन हमारी बॉडी में इंजेक्ट किया जाता है, द नियर बाय सेल्स डू नॉट एक्सेप्ट देम, राइट? तो इसीलिए जो नियर बाय सेल्स है, हमारी बॉडी की जो सेल्स है, उन चीज़ों को ट्रेन करना पड़ता है. वी हैव टू डू सर्टेन जेनेटिक चेंजेस so that they start accepting the foreign organ which has been transplanted, right? This is the thing. अब इसमें बात किया गया कि वाई पिग्स आर सूटेबल फॉर दिस प्रोसीजर. सो कहीं ना कहीं ये चीज़ देखा गया है दैट जो पिग्स का एनाटॉमिकल और फिजियोलॉजिकल स्ट्रक्चर है, कहीं ना कहीं इट इज़ वेरी मच सिमिलर टू द ह्यूमन बॉडी, राइट? इसीलिए पिग्स को ज़्यादातर यूज़ किया जाता है, और 50 सालों से कहीं ना कहीं ह्यूमन हार्ट वॉल्व्स को रिप्लेस करने के लिए पिग्स का इस्तेमाल किया जाता था, राइट? दिस इज द थिंग. So I hope आपको ये टेक्नोलॉजी भी समझ में आया होगा. This technology can definitely be used in your prelims examination. At the same time, in mains examination, a question can be framed, right? With that, let's move forward and see the next news. All right. In this article, writer is pointing about the proliferation of deep fakes which are being used in the present time. हमें पता है अभी के समय पर deep fakes is a technology which is being used especially in the election purposes. हमने देखा कि बहुत सारी parties ने deep fake का use करके कुछ leaders को who are not alive, the leaders who were dead, उनका videos बनाया to propagate their message or to have a political leverage. But writer point out करते हैं that there is an inherent problem which is related to the deepfakes, right? Which we are going to see in this article. The problem related to information overload. आजकल के समाज में हम देखते हैं कि there is a kind of information overload which is there, right? Because we are so much consuming the data from the social media. ऐसा बोला जाता है, there was a study which happened that an average person uses his or her phone at least 200 times in a day, right? उसकी वजह से there are certain problems which are emerging, such as information overload or the manipulation of people through algorithms which happen, right? Which these big tech companies do. So let's see some of the important things. First of all, we need to understand that deepfake is a technology which has both positive and negative aspects. Basically, deepfakes है क्या? Basically, it is a technology based on artificial intelligence which can help us to develop images or videos, of certain individuals, right? So, as I mentioned, इसकी वजह से what we can do is the people who are dead, those person can be used to propagate positive messages, right? मान लीजिए हमें इंडिया में एक स्ट्रॉन्ग डेमोक्रेसी का मैसेज सेंड करना है, व्हाई नॉट वी कैन डेवलप अ डीफेक वीडियो ऑफ गांधी जी और डॉक्टर भीमराव अंबेडकर. अगर हमारी कंट्री में मान लीजिए देयर इज अ पॉलिटिकल अनरेस्ट और अ काइंड ऑफ रायट व्हिच इज हैपनिंग, we can make a video from the APJ Abdul Kalam using deepfake for asking for the stability. So it has certain political advantages, right? But the negatives negative things which we are able to see, for example, हमने देखा there was this video which was circulated of a famous actress, right? Showing her nude. These kind of things creates problems with the deepfake technology, right? Things like unconsensual or without consensus pornography can be propagated, right? So consensus लिए बिना अगर हम किसी लोगों की वीडियोस बनाए थे, या फिर as I mentioned that the propagation of an actress video which was against the dignity of that actress, these things are harmful, right? At the same time, there is another picture which has been highlighted in this article which is related to the information overload in the present time. This is also a problem. कहीं ना कहीं जो इतना information हम consume करते हैं through social media, like platforms like Instagram, और फेसबुक और व्हाट्सएप, कहीं ना कहीं इतना इन्फॉर्मेशन लेने के बाद देर इज अ टेंडेंसी विच हैज बीन डेवलप्ड among the people that they are not able to differentiate between the fake thing or what is the real or true thing, right? कहीं ना कहीं ये ability हम खो देते हैं, and that too these things are propagated using algorithms which are based on this AI platform. आपको पता होगा that you know अगर आप कोई चीज सर्च करते हो अपने गूगल में, तो आपको उन चीजों के एड्स दिखने लग जाते हैं, right? उस तरीके की चीजें आपको और रिकमेंड करने लग जाते हैं AI algorithm, right? Whether it is fake, whether it is real, or companies are using those things to change your perception, right? So these are certain things which are problematic and which are kind of manipulating the people, right? एक स्टडी में यूरोप में पाया गया दैट देयर वाज दिस गर्ल जिसके ऊपर एक्सपेरिमेंट किया गया, और उसमें ये पाया गया दैट जो लड़की थी वो अपने आप से ज़्यादा उसका फ़ोन जानता था. No, her phone knew everything about her, what food she wanted to eat, what kind of political preferences she have, when she relaxes, what things she watches on Netflix, everything he knew. What is her taste in terms of consuming the content. So ये चीज तो कहीं ना कहीं problematic है, and these things can be leveraged by the companies, right? At the same time जो deepfake जैसी technologies हैं, ये और ज़्यादा problem create कर देती है, because in this social media age जहाँ पे we are consuming so much of information, it is going to be really hard for us to identify which thing is real and which thing is fake, right? So this is the thing which has been pointed out. This is the problem which has been pointed out in this article. I hope आपको ये चीज समझ में आया होगा. And the articles which we have discussed today, they were related from the international relations, related to the India-Nepal relation, the Chabahar port, and the larger INSTC corridor. And we have also seen the fault lines in our education system, and why there is a need to focus on qualitative aspects, right, rather than just focusing on the competitive education system which is there. And in the last, we have seen the challenges of the deepfake technology, and how the information overload which is there in the present times can impact, and can be used by companies to manipulate the people, right? So I hope आपको ये सब चीज़ें समझ में आई होंगी. And with that we have reached to the end of this discussion. Thank you so much.